Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of The Executive with Meg. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Adil Irshad, who is the Chief Operating Officer of EV Technology. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mag. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for your kind words. Thank you.
So, you've had a remarkable journey. I mean, you are a very well renowned sustainability maven as well as an EV ecosystem expert. So, I guess the main question would be is what is the driving force behind your passion for sustainability? What sparked it?
Okay, it's a very significant question, and a lot of time they ask me, in our industry of e-mobility, we say it in this way, it's a race of chicken and egg in terms of EV domain. If you go to the history or if you learn the economics, how do we reach here? You need to understand that first of all, electric cars or not all electric cars are 100% clean, and no car can be 100% clean. And what we're trying to say here is that if you are using an EV, you are doing a bit of your part towards climate goal, sustainability, for having less CO2 emissions. Yeah, because there's a big debate on this that are they really emission free because of the entire process of procurement and production. It's also advancing to reach towards renewable sustainable energy so that we can say yes, 100% clean. Okay. Again, if you go back, how do we reach here is that the Paris Agreement is a binding climate change agreement which was adopted at COP21 in December 12, 2015, which was effective in November 4, 2016. What is this agreement saying? This agreement says that achieving its goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 requires a 45% emission reduction by 2030 and reaching net zero by 2050. Given that transportation contributes to 14% of global emissions, it is imperative to transition to the sector of electric and renewable energy based mobility solutions. The shift is essential for significance towards the significance of reducing emissions and net zero future. Yeah. So these are the facts that we have reached here towards electric mobility. There is a Paris Climate Change Agreement has been signed. It's been effective. It says very clearly about achieving 1.5 C global goals. And in terms of that, 14%, as I said, transportation is your factor. Yeah.
And of course, you've got extensive experience in the MENA and the GCC region. So what were some of the unique challenges as well as opportunities that you have encountered when it comes to the adoption of EV in the region, if you had to compare it to the rest of the world?
Okay, so again, that's a very wide question. Yeah. So first of all, any EV market, globally or regionally, is challenging. Number one. Two, and it's evolving constantly each and every day. Every day we hear the news from globally and regionally that a lot of EV innovation is coming into the market. Having said that, regionally, yes, we do have quite a few challenges in terms of charging infrastructure. These challenges now, Oman is doing a wonderful job in that. Oman has been Oman has introduced the top regulations for that.
Okay.
Out of GCC region. UAE is also working a lot in terms of investment. KSA is the same. They're achieving their goals towards the vision. You need to understand that each region has its electrification goals. Oman has electrification goals. As I said, it has the best regulations in the region towards EV adoption. So regulations are in place. Transitional goals are in place, the visions are in place. So the state has done its job. Now it's up to us that we as consumers and partners, what is our role? So we have to meet these challenges. Challenges are in terms of charging infrastructure. We need to play a role to have charging infrastructure set in a way that rural, urban areas, people can charge their car.
Yes.
One, and then you need to also come up with vehicles with different choices, SUV, sedan, saloon, and should be economical, feasible to all different kinds of pockets and
That's the big
consumers.
thing, yeah.
So these are the things that I think that we need to address them, and a lot of people are addressing. We are addressing them. We are introducing different kind of cars. We have met a lot of challenges in terms of compliance as well and regulations as well, because you have to meet certain compliance and regulations. Yeah.
So, like you mentioned, it's very important to make sure that EV is, and the charging stations, they're accessible, correct?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest question, I mean, I can strongly relate to it as well, is how are we going to make it more affordable to the everyday person within the societies?
Okay. So firstly, charging infrastructure is globally number one. I think 70% or 80%, if I'm not correct, charging of vehicles, e-mobility happens at home.
Yes.
Globally. This is your first answer to the question. Second, yes, you need a charging infrastructure for masses, your consumers, your public, based on living in rural and urban areas. For that, you need a charging infrastructure. But I do not think that a lot of people would be looking into this option that where is my fuel station for fueling my car. If you come out of your house, you don't think of the fuel station that I have to look for it. You just have to go for it and fill up your fuel tank. Similarly, it's the same case. If you're driving an electric vehicle, you should know where to charge your car outside your house.
True.
Yeah. So that is probably a 30%, 40% role in the global market, or it will be definitely in the regional market. And that is, region is working on it. The states are working on it. Government is working on it. We are working on it. And we are installing charging solutions with the fuel operators in Oman. And it has been, these are all DC fast chargers.
And with regards to the EV value chain, how do you see it evolving in, let's say, the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, wow. This is, in the next 2 to 5, 10 years, somebody asked me this question similarly just recently in one of my event. And I said that, would you ask a gasoline company the same question? Where do they stand in 5 to 10 years? So EV, as I said in the beginning of this podcast, that we are evolving every day. My OEMs are evolving every day, innovating every day. They're inventors, manufacturers, people like BYD, people like Tesla, startups are there. They're also working on it every day and competing and coming up with IoT solutions, connected cars, autonomous vehicles, vehicles based on artificial intelligence. These are the things that you are looking at in the coming 5 to 10 years, where I think that commercial fleet electrification would be achieved very much near. I mean, it's very much near to see commercial fleet electrification, where you're talking about trucks, buses, and light commercial vehicles. And then you're looking at saloon, sedan, and luxury SUV vehicles. So in the 5 to 10 years, these are the segments that will grow, and it will not only grow as in terms of innovation as a vehicle, it will grow massively based on IoT, and autonomous and connected vehicles.
Also, I'm very curious to know, what are some of the exciting projects that are underway within EV technology, and what can we expect to see from you in the future in the Oman market and on the global stage?
EV technology, which is a part of Seoul International Investment Group, has faced a lot of challenges.
Okay.
On its own scale. In terms of, in our organization, we saw a lot of reaction from our own people towards shift of this technology. And why are we going into electric vehicles? The point was to go sustainable and renewable energy to follow Oman Vision 2040 and Net Zero 2050. Ultimately, that's a global scale. So on a national scale, you can say Vision 2040 was our goal. So we did that, and we convinced our team. We spoke to our team that we need to go renewable and sustainable somehow. So we did a lot of research, and then we found out that cars are favorite of people in the region. So why not? And it's sustainable, and they're going renewable. So why not electric mobility and charging solutions? So we came in that. Another part of the question was?
So what can we expect to see from you in the future?
Yeah, okay. So this is how we came in, and we saw that there is a lot of market in the region for electric mobility. The time when we started, nobody was there in the market as expertise as us. So we faced a lot of challenges from people in terms of nobody was ready, and or a lot of people said that it's too early to do that, and but we kept on doing we kept on doing these and faced these challenges. A lot of obstacles were there in the market, and of course a lot of our own OEMs who were startup like us, due to pandemic, they shut down due to financial crisis or collapse. Lucky us, because we're an investment group, we sustained during that time in Oman and in the region. So what we are doing right now is we are focusing towards charging solutions and charging infrastructure, specifically in Oman. We are working with our own investment we are doing it towards DC charging infrastructure. Plus, we are also looking forward to work with fuel operators, and we have worked with some fuel operator for DC charging solutions. And in the future, what we look at, that if we establish a good, feasible, reachable, efficient, effective charging solution to masses, then definitely we can have EV adoption. And in that term, in terms of electric vehicles, we are working on affordable cars that can meet the requirements of normal people pockets, normal
That's
consumers.
the biggest thing, yeah.
And a lot of people have this hype that electric cars are expensive. Not all of them are expensive.
I think most people are only familiar with brands such as Tesla. I think people are not very well, I wouldn't say like very well informed about the different varieties and different brands on the market.
There are a lot of brands in the market at the moment, also in Oman, globally, regionally. There are a lot of brands other than Tesla. But we're not going to debate about the brands here.
No.
So the brands are there. That's why I said awareness, education is there. So this is my role. This is where I come in. As I said, I do a lot of awareness education programs. I take leadership role, visionary role, in terms of regional and global development towards sustainability. A lot of people have this, because a lot of people outside or inside in the region, they are living in this dilemma that EV adoption is coming. Are we ready for it? We need to prepare ourselves. It's not about you are ready for it. We need to prepare ourselves that the adoption is going to come to you, whether you take it or leave it.
Yes, and I think it's a lot to do with also the behavioral shifts that we have to take in order to go smoothly, process with the...
Yeah, it's not only electric vehicles. Let me add here, as I said, the region, especially Oman, tops in hydrogen economy. Oman is doing wonderful investments and public awareness education in terms of investing into the hydrogen economy, and there will be hydrogen cars. So not only that, so renewable, sustainable. They're also working on the electric grid to go renewable.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So there's a vision for it. So why all is this happening? It's just because preparing the people towards the adoption of renewable, sustainable development, which is basically your vision 2040 and net zero 2050.
Yes. 100%. And then also, seeing as you are a leader, can you share any word of advice to young professionals who are looking to enter this field or this sector? What would you say to them?
This is a very common question, Meg, that I come across.
We need a proper quote from you.
I have done some university dialogue with in UAE and Ajman. I just did some thesis with them towards autonomous vehicles, and also in Oman I did a program for a technical university, and they all ask me this. See, I believe in education from grassroots, number one. It should be from your primary school, probably. Your children need to educate. You need to educate your children from the beginning, from the foundation level.
Education starts at home, ultimately.
Education starts at home. That's why I always say sustainability begins at home, through you, me, I, and all of us together. So you need to start at the foundation level. You need to tell them about fossil fuel, the formation of fossil fuel, how it was formed.
I would love for you to share the story that your daughter told.
Yeah, sure, why not? So in this case, I would like to quote my 8-year-old daughter. She is in grade 3. And she asked me a question that, Dad, I learned in school that fossil fuels are formed after millions of years ago because these are the traces of dead animals and plants. So I said, yes. So I asked her, what is your question? So she said, my question is, what's going to happen if you run out of it? And I did not have an answer because she said, are we going to wait for another 1 million years ago? So this is basically, you need to educate them from right there and then towards sustainable development. You need to tell them that these are the do's, these are the don'ts. Why? Because this is what we're doing. Same as Greta Thunberg or any other activist is talking about it. So you need to educate them from there. This is where you come in. Then the youth comes in because youth holds the power of the world on a global scale. If you empower your youth, you empower your women, you empower your equality in terms of education. I think net zero 20 future, I see that I live it already in it. If you create this ambience, atmosphere, environment of sustainable development at the foundation level in your women, in your youth, you will start living in that. So once you build this, I think this is my message to youth, that start studying, do your research, behave, learn to behave to your Mother Earth. If you would know how everything is formed, what are green gas emissions, what is green mobility or renewable energy or sustainable development, what are CO2 emissions, what is climate change agreement, what is COP21, what happened there, and why we are all doing this, just to save the planet Earth. Yeah, of course, for a lot of people it's business, but again, there is a bigger goal of vision towards saving the Earth. There is no planet B. This is the only planet we're living in.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, they have, of course, been doing a lot of research on which other planet would be able to sustain human life, and I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that, how promising that may be, or...
See, I don't know, I just read a few days back, and Japan is making a rail to the moon.
A rail?
Rail. Train to the moon. I just read it. I can share with you the article. So they're working on it. So
how would that? Can you please
share
so
this is my question. This is my question. In terms of transformation, innovation, people. These are the thoughts of human can go. You can. It means you can. They can achieve. That's why they said that. Or probably it's doable or not doable. I cannot debate on that. But there's a proper article, and they said that to set the timeline also when they're going to achieve it. So having said that. Innovative goals, transformation goals are required for the growth of this industry, number one. You can think of anything towards your transformation and innovation as a vision, and you have to get there. That's why I said a lot of time that if you take me to point B, I'm talking about myself here, if you take me to point A, and tell me that you want to reach to point B, I can take you to point B. Are you ready for it? The question is, are you ready for it?
That is.
So this is the question. So these are the things that we need to tell ourselves. Innovation, transformation is happening. It is coming up. We need to be ready for it. We need to prepare ourselves.
And what would be your advice to the young students? Let's start with primary school or high school, for example. What would be your advice to them?
I did that.
To be the role, ultimately we role model the behavior, but how could they, in their day-to-day activities, change their behavior?
I'll give you a small example. As a child, when I was back in the time, there was a piggy bank. My dad asked me to open the account. I think I was in 6th or 7th grade, something like that. And I remember it was HSBC or some bank. I don't remember that. And I did not get the goal of HSBC or the bank that time. So what was the goal of the bank? The goal of the bank was to make me their future consumer. So what we need here is we need to deliver to primary schools, secondary schools, go to them, educate them about the products that they can use that can reduce CO2 emissions, waste management, go towards sustainable development, go towards renewable energy, be it your electricity, be your car, be your disposal of trash, how to behave towards earth, and what are do's and don'ts for plastic usage. So these are all things that they count. So these are the things that you need to educate at your primary and secondary level. So your youth is already ready for climate change. They know why we're doing this, and they're already warmed up from their school. So before they reach to youth.
Yeah, because I mean, ultimately, it's a lot easier to get the younger generation to adapt to new things. It's usually with the older generations that it could be quite challenging to get them on board because people
Yeah.
are usually set in their ways.
See, this is something very common. I mean, you see that the old age, I mean, my age, our age, we are not behaving well. I would see that, personally, we need to behave. In terms of behave, not in a wrong term. We need to be good with our nature, with our mother nature, and we need to see what are the do's and don'ts again that we can comply with. There's so many ads, there's so many campaigns by United Nations, UNICEF, UNESCO, you name it, WHO run globally towards waste management until the e-mobility. But we as our generation, what are we doing? We are not moving forward with it. We need to move forward. If we move forward, we are going to act as a teacher to our youth and our children.
Role model, the
Role model.
behavior.
This is where you come as a role
true.
model.
All right, so yes, I would love to elaborate on the education of the youth in primary schools.
See, and at the primary and secondary level, when I talk to them, where my kids are also studying, my daughter and my boy at the very primary level, and I tell them, the faculty, the management, you need to teach them the e-mobility factors, sustainable factors, waste management factors, and they're doing that. A lot of them. Even in fact, my daughter is very vocal in terms of that at school and at home, and this is how you bring up your society and you become their role model. So you basically practice what you preach.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. So if you don't practice what you preach, there is no vision and goal in terms of leadership.
No.
So this is very important at the primary and secondary level. Here I would like to share the clip for my daughter.
I mean, what a wonderful message from an 8-year-old. I have said to you before, I think, your daughter is more well-informed and educated on the topic than some of my people my age.
Yeah, she's a very jolly kid, and she'll be very happy to hear that, her valued thoughts are shared. And
her dream of being on YouTube.
She wants to be a YouTuber. This is what she told me about. And then she also a climate champion in her school.
Fantastic.
So she's doing a lot, and she's doing the same thing to me a lot of times. That Dad, you cannot throw this here, you cannot throw that there. So again, it's your role modeling for your children, which is your youth.
Most definitely, and people definitely have to be open to also learning from the youth, like you said.
Yeah.
The students that you do teach on primary school level, they go home and they discuss it with their families, their mom and their dad, and then that's also just cyclical again.
Yeah, because these are your future consumer market, Mag. You need to understand that if you are looking to capitalize or commercialize in terms of doing business, or even to have that vision created, you need to capitalize this time with them. You need to make them ready for it. I mean, me and you put together, or us, probably we have life of another 20, 30 years left. So the world belongs to them.
Yes.
World belongs to, as I always say, Greta Thunberg, who's been doing a lot of activism towards that, which is true.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast, and I most certainly learned a tremendous amount today, and I most definitely look forward to seeing you on the public stage advocating for sustainability.
Yes.
Such an honor to meet you.
Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm always available towards leadership, towards vision development, which I always do at a lot of events and public speaking, be it in events, autonomous mobility events, electric vehicle summits, conferences, also at the technology universities in UAE and in Oman. So I'm available to make a difference in my own way. This is my passion, and this is something that I have created in my own self to do better for the future of my children and your children.
I'm very, very grateful and admire your contribution to sustainability and, like you
Thank
said, changing the future for our youth.
Yeah, this is a small part that I'm doing, and I would like collectively together that we can bring a sustainable change. That's why I always say in every time, let's go electric, because it is something at least we are doing, we are planning, or we are creating a vision to reach towards net zero future.
Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to collaborating with you in the future.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
And if you have one message for our viewers and for our listeners to really, take a step back and give them something to think about, what would it be?
Okay, my message to society centers on transformation and sustainability. I imagine a future where clean and efficient mobility isn't just an option, but a shared commitment. It involves embracing innovation and embracing electric vehicles as a significant stride towards a greener, more sustainable world, towards net zero future. So let's redefine mobility as more than just a transportation, but as a collective approach towards our environmental impact. Together, we can make this positive change towards our greener roads, because after all, there's no planet B.
Well, that is definitely, it gives me something to think about as well. Truly is an honor.